of like a game. When you think about it, it's like, okay, well, you go through a trial, you go through a certain mission, you failed. Okay, what do? We have to restart. Sometimes you restart at the checkpoint, other times we restart the entire mission. And it's like God is trying to give you a chance after chance after chance to literally just restart at the checkpoint. But instead, you're trying to restart the entire mission. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be talking about understanding your story. Now, the thing is that I think that everybody has a story. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has a perspective about life that they have to go through that teaches them something about themselves. But I think that for you to actually learn the lesson of what God is trying to reveal to you, you have to be able to put yourself in a position to be able to be teachable. To be able to learn exactly what you need to learn means that you have to put yourself to be in a position to be teachable. And if you're in a position where you don't really want to learn about what you're in a position for, then you're going to stay in that same position until you learn it. One thing that I'm learning is that God will literally put you in a position and will literally give you repeated time after time things that will show you that you have not learned your lesson yet. He will give you opportunity after opportunity after he's forgiven you to show you why you haven't learned your lesson. And as you start going through different situations and God is trying to give you constant time after time opportunities for you to grow, you're still using those opportunities to not learn what you need to learn. So if you keep putting yourself in that position and you're not learning, then you're going to have that same repeated action come up over and over. And you can't ask God, why am I still in this situation? Or why am I still going through the same moment that I've been through a couple months ago? Or why I was still here a year ago? Maybe it's because you still have those same people in your life. Maybe it's because you're still in that same literal situation that you've wanted to get out of, but you're still in that same predicament. Maybe it's because you're still at that same job. Maybe it's because you're still on that same team. Maybe it's because you're still at that same school. Whatever the case is, right? You haven't learned to change the environment or to change the situation for the outcome to be different. And if you keep putting yourself in a position where you're allowing people or allowing things to actually control your life, then it's going to hinder the growth that you're supposed to already have. God has already called you to be greater than where you are, and yet we're still making the same mistakes that's putting us in the same position with the same conversations or the same people or the same interactions with the same consequences. And, it's like, what does that look like whenever God is trying to use my story to impact people in the world, or to impact my close group, or to impact my family, or to impact my coworkers, right? What does that look like? And it's like, you literally have to put yourself in a position to be used by God and to recognize when he is testing you. Recognize when he is throwing you an opportunity, and recognize what you need to do with that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's one of those things that's like, okay, I really wish that I had my money so that I can be able to buy this car. What will you really do when he gives you that extra $20,000, right? Will you use that towards the car? Will you use that to be a blessing? Or will you use that smartly? Will you use that to invest? Will you use that for things that matter, right? For your family? Will you use that for yourself in a correct way? For you to actually pay bills or to pay what you need to take care of? Or will you use it recklessly, right? How will you use the things that God gives you and the opportunities and the people that God gives you instead of you just using them and taking advantage of them? Because at the end of the day, if we don't learn, like I will keep saying, if we don't learn, then God will put us in the same predicament. I know I've been in predicaments where I literally question, how did we get here again? And it's because rather I didn't learn what I needed to learn, or I'm still around the same wrong crowd or the same wrong situation that I shouldn't be in. But that's because I haven't changed anything. I haven't learned what I needed to learn. So instead of God being like, all right, on to the next level, right? We're still here in the same level. We're still here in the same predicament. And it's kind of like a game. When you think about it, it's like, okay, well, you go through a trial, you go through a certain mission, you failed. Okay, what do? We have to restart. Sometimes we restart at the checkpoint. Other times we restart the entire mission. And it's like God is trying to give you a chance after chance after chance to literally just restart at the checkpoint. But instead, you're trying to restart the entire mission because you don't understand what the mission actually is. So it's like, how do you actually learn how to maneuver getting out of that and being able to put yourself in a position where God can use you for you to grow? First thing that I would say is, if God is giving you multiple positions at multiple times where you've gone through something over and over, rather with the same person, with different people, rather that's interactions, or maybe someone has told you something, if multiple people have told you that you're selfish, maybe instead of you taking it as a negative way, you should recognize why you are actually selfish. Recognize why they think that you're selfish. Is it because you talk about yourself all the time? Is it because everything has to go your way? Is it because You get angry quickly. So, whenever you're angry, everyone else in the world has to be angry with you. Like, what does the selfishness look like? And another thing could literally just be that, like, you're in a position where people don't want to be around you. And it's like, why don't people want to be around you? Are you a person that likes to control every single room or every single conversation? Or that kind of goes to the selfish part of it because you're self-centered. But it's just like, what positions are you constantly going through that are putting you in a position where you're like, how do I keep ending up in the same position where I have no friends, where I don't have a job, where I don't have no money, where I don't have no relationship, where I don't have anything going for my life, right? How do I keep having so much time to actually do so much stuff? And it's like, sometimes God will actually give you time in your life for you to actually utilize it, but for you to actually be able to give it to Him. Right? He'll give you those empty nights that you feel like, oh man, I wish I had someone that was laying next to me, or those middays where you're like, man, I'm just really bored and lonely. I don't know what to do, or man, I'm working so much and I come home and nobody's here, or it's a Saturday night and I'm not gonna go out to no club. I don't know what to do. Like I really want to find something to do. I have so much time on my hands, right? Sometimes God will literally put you in a position to give you time for you to give to Him. And that could be prayer time, that could be study time, that could be time just to reflect on your own actions, because we're so busy that we're not even thinking about our own actions to actually reflect on what we're already doing, right? If you really were to think about when's the last time I sat down and reflected about myself in general, about blank category, about my relationship with God, about my relationship with my parents, my relationship with my coworkers, like my relationship with myself, like stuff like that. When's the last time you really sat down and really analyzed yourself for you to actually be able to make smarter decisions outside of you being in the same predicament or the same, moment that you're already living in? And that's how God works sometimes, that He'll literally give you, it's like kind of like basketball terms. It's like He'll throw you the alley-oop, and if you're just going to watch the ball, you're never going to be able to score. Right? But if He throws you the alley-oop and you come over there like LeBron or John Morant or Zion and you just grab the ball, you dunk it, you know what I'm saying? Then you're going to understand what the point of the play was. But if you just kind of go in and you're going, in basketball terms, you're going up and down the court and you're just kind of playing through the game, but you're not really have a mission to win, you're missing the entire point of the game. You know what I'm saying? So for us to actually be able to put ourselves in a position where we can actually learn what we need to learn in our predicaments and our situations is literally learn what am I still constantly going through. If I feel like I have a lot of time or I have a lot of something, is it the best thing to have a lot of that? And am I really dedicating as much time or as much effort as I could be into giving God that time that He deserves? And I know for myself, I'm constantly busy, but at the same time, I also have moments where I'm like, okay, I don't have anything to do right now. And I don't always feel motivated to just be like, okay, let me go read the Bible. Let me just go over here and look at the verse of the day, or let me not send a prayer, but say a prayer all the time either. I'm not saying that I'm perfect, because I definitely have my moments where I'm like, I might think about it and then be like, oh, but I could be blank, right? I might be over here doom scrolling. I might be over here playing the video game, right? But at the same time, it's like, God, you've given me time to actually be able to put that into you for me to gain my relationship with you. And it's like, what do you do with that time so that you don't have to keep putting yourself in these situations, and that God can actually reveal what the task is to you and what you need to do to overcome it? Because especially with me trying to grow up and learn what God has called me to do, is going to come with losing people, losing situations, losing, things that are comfortable, right? And it's like, God, are you trying to teach me a lesson in these things that I need to get rid of? Or are you still trying to teach me a lesson while I'm in the moment? Because I haven't learned my lesson yet. Like, what are you trying to show me right now? And that's where you have to be able to have that connection and that relationship with God to understand what He's asking for. Because it's like, if you have a good friend, you're going to go to them and ask them for advice. Hey, so I'm dealing with this really bad coworker at work. I really don't know what to do. Here's the situation. What can I do to fix it? If you just treat God like your best friend and you do it just like that, I guarantee you God will reveal to you exactly what you need to do in those situations. And from there, that's how you actually start learning about what God has called you to do in those certain situations for you to get out of them. And if you don't get out of them, then He will continuously show up and show you why you need to learn that. Because somewhere down the road, you're going to need to have learned that thing for another situation, for another person. You know what I'm saying? Or even just for yourself. So that's just something to think about as you're trying to go through your life and realize my story are the things that I'm going through have purpose, and why is God constantly putting me in these positions to be in this? What have I not learned yet? And from there, when you become open to learning what God has to show to you, then he will be more willing to show it to you because you're actually receptive to it. So that's really all I got for y'all in this video. It's gonna wrap it up. Like this video, share this video with someone that you know that needs to hear it. And until then, y'all, subscribe. So of course, subscribe to the channel. I mean, I can't forget that part. Definitely got to subscribe to the channel. But that being said, y'all, that's gonna wrap it up. And until then, I will catch y'all in the next video. I'm gone.